Europe's $750 billion shadow, the European financial crime crisis. A staggering $750 billion in dirty money is flowing through Europe's financial system. That's not just a number. It's 2.3% of Europe's entire GDP. Gone. And the worst part? This isn't just about money. It's funding human trafficking, drug trade, and even terrorism. Today, we're diving into Europe's financial crime crisis that affects everyone, including you. Let's put this in perspective. $103.6 billion lost to scams and fraud alone. Nearly $200 billion crossing borders illegally. Behind these numbers are real victims, elderly people losing life savings, businesses shutting down, and governments unable to fund critical services. What's really happening beneath Europe's polished financial surface? In this video, you'll see exactly how these criminal networks operate, the regulatory gaps they exploit, the real-world impact beyond the numbers, and, most importantly, what's finally being done to stop them. Financial crime experts are calling 2025 the turning point in this battle, and you're about to find out why. Let's break down this $750 billion shadow economy. According to NASDAQ Verafin's 2025 report, it includes $178 billion from drug trafficking, $82.2 billion from human trafficking, $2.7 billion linked to terrorism, and a massive $487.2 billion from organized crime, fraud, and corruption. These aren't separate problems, they're interconnected criminal ecosystems. The drug dealer needs to clean their money, which funds the corrupt banker, who helps hide assets for organized crime. It's a cycle that keeps growing unless we stop it. Here's where it gets interesting. Over $194.9 billion, a quarter of all money laundering, crosses European borders. Why? Because criminals exploit differences between countries' systems. Cross-border transactions have tripled over the last decade, creating perfect opportunities for money launderers. Germany, France, Italy, and the UK have become the primary hotspots, handling over half of these illicit cross-border funds. Think about it. If you're a criminal with dirty money in one country, you can send it through 3 or 4 others before it comes back looking clean. Each border crossing makes the trail harder to follow. But how do they move this money undetected? Enter money mules, people who transfer illegal funds through their own bank accounts. Some know what they're doing, others are innocent victims, recruited through fake job offers or romance scams. This network moved an estimated $58.2 billion last year alone. Imagine thousands of regular people, many who don't even realize they're breaking the law, moving small amounts that add up to billions. Criminals aren't just using traditional banking. They've mastered cryptocurrency, crowdfunding platforms, and other emerging technologies that outpace regulatory oversight. The near anonymity of crypto transactions creates the perfect cover for laundering activities. This is why Europe's new traceability of transfers of funds regulation now extends to crypto assets, a game-changing move the industry fought against for years. What made all this possible? Fragmented regulations across different countries, inconsistent enforcement, and hidden ownership allowed criminals to hide in plain sight. Until recently, you could create complex corporate structures across multiple jurisdictions that made it virtually impossible to identify who actually controlled the money. And here's the shocking part. Much of this was technically legal. The consequences go far beyond the obvious financial losses. Financial crime directly funds human trafficking networks, where an estimated 175,000 victims across Europe are trapped in modern slavery. The elderly are especially targeted, with victims over 65 accounting for nearly 20% of fraud losses in Europe and up to 38% in Nordic countries. These aren't just statistics, they're grandparents losing their retirement, young people trapped in exploitation, communities torn apart. But the damage goes deeper. Financial crime erodes public trust in institutions, weakens governance, reduces tax revenue for essential services, and creates parallel underground economies that hurt legitimate businesses. And here's the most alarming development. Organized crime groups are increasingly working with state-sponsored threat actors who use cyber attacks and disinformation campaigns to destabilize European societies. Financial crime isn't just a money problem, it's becoming a national security issue. Europe's response? The creation of the Anti-Money Laundering Authority, AMLA. Unlike previous fragmented approaches, AMLA will directly supervise high-risk financial institutions across multiple countries, starting operations in mid-2025. This represents the first truly centralized approach to tackling financial crime across the entire EU, something criminals have feared for years. No more playing one country against another. Next, the EU's single rulebook for anti-money laundering introduces clear, directly applicable rules across all member states. This eliminates the regulatory gaps that criminals exploited for decades. No more shopping for the weakest link in Europe's regulatory chain. But here's why this matters for everyone. Even businesses outside Europe now face much stricter requirements when dealing with European entities. The most exciting development? Financial institutions are now using advanced AI and data analytics to detect suspicious patterns that humans could never spot. These systems can analyze millions of transactions in real time, identifying networks rather than isolated incidents. The criminal's advantage? Complexity is becoming their greatest vulnerability. What once hid them now exposes them. Europe's new transfer of funds regulation represents another breakthrough. Starting from December 2024, all crypto asset transfers must include verified information about both sender and recipient, just like traditional bank transfers. This closes a massive loophole that allowed anonymous movement of funds. With crypto ATMs and exchanges now under supervision, the days of untraceable digital money are ending. One of the most effective new strategies is the unprecedented cooperation between financial institutions, regulators, and law enforcement. Consortium analytics and shared intelligence platforms now allow banks to detect patterns across multiple institutions, something previously impossible due to data privacy concerns. This collaborative approach has already led to the dismantling of major criminal networks operating across borders. So what can you do to protect yourself? First, verify the identity of anyone requesting financial information through official channels. Second, be especially wary of investment opportunities with guaranteed high returns. Third, regularly monitor your accounts for unusual activity. And finally, report suspicious activities immediately. You're not just protecting yourself, you're helping disrupt these criminal networks that affect everyone. That was it for this episode. Hope you liked the content. Hit subscribe, tap that notification bell, and leave a comment below telling us which financial crime case you want us to break down next. Because remember, in the world of financial crime, what you don't know can hurt you. Stay safe, stay informed, and we'll see you in the next video.